Thanks to Manscaped, who are kindly supporting the STATTO preview show, although Dale didn't want to hang around and talk about the product with me. Having personally had a few Manscaped lawnmowers in the past, the new 4.0 is a really impressive piece of kit. Impressive and powerful. It's also waterproof, which means you can sort your bits out in the shower. Now, the summer holidays are finally on the way, and the lawnmower, like I say, is brilliant for sorting yourself out before you go and lounge around the pool. We've all been there where we've had accidents with normal razors in the shower. It's not pleasant, it's not nice, nobody wants that. The lawnmower is designed to reduce all that kind of thing that can happen and help everyone out. Now, Manscaped have also extended their range to include nail care, boxers and aftershave. But one product which looks the business is the new Weed Whacker nose trimmer. And with Father's Day coming up in June, you can get one for your dad, or just get one for yourself if you are a father. And when you get to my age, 37, hair does start to appear in places where you don't want it to. The Weed Whacker does help with that, with the old nose and the old ears. And like I say, they're really comfortable and they do help and they get the job done. This is stuff that no one likes to talk about, but as I say, we've all got these problems. It helps. Manscaped have kindly offered the VillaView subscribers 20% off and free shipping when you use the code TheVillaView in capital letters. Details are also in the description. Now, this is a saving of £8 off the Weed Whacker, but a massive £18 off the Lawnmower 4.0. And if you really are one of the lucky few in the country that's feeling any kind of flush at the moment, Manscaped have an offer on the Platinum Package 4.0 where you'll save £30. Now, we always say this, but we know money's very tight at the moment. We know the country's not in a brilliant state. But if you are one of the lucky ones who is flush at the moment and you do want to support the VillaView, now these kind of associations with companies, they really, really help us. But we want to do something extra if you are buying all the good stuff from Manscaped. So if you do buy the product using the VillaView codes, send us your receipt to studio@thevillaview.tv and we will send you a Villa Brew mug to say thank you. We've got plenty of these, so we want to get some sent out. Lovely mug. Nothing better than thinking about Villa when you're having a brew. Thanks to Manscaped for sponsoring us, and thank you very much for listening. Oh dear me. I'm waiting for the offers will come flooding in now for me to be on TV and be in all various kinds of adverts after that. This is the AVFC STATTO preview show in association with Manscaped, who are sponsoring us this week. Look, if you do want to go and get that product, use our code. It is a really, really good product. It does help with things that we don't like talking about. So yeah, if you want to support the channel, use our code and you'll also get yourself a VillaView mug as well. Dale, didn't have to do the ad read. How are you?
I'm good. I've also got the product as well.
Yeah, I've got the product. You got the product with you, Dale. So yeah, Dad will be using that this afternoon before he goes out, I reckon.
I will. Yeah.
Yeah, but
get the ears done and the nose.
Yeah, but let's move away from our sponsors at Manscaped now and talk about Aston Villa. Huge game at Villa Park tomorrow against Spurs. I mean, I remember everything being hyped up for this Newcastle game a month or so ago. This game's actually really it's far bigger than that game. So let's look around at the stats leading up to Aston Villa v Spurs. We'll start, as always, with Aston Villa Football Club. Dale, what have you got for us this week? I don't know why I'm saying. I don't know why I always say that because it's me that reads it, but this is what Dale's come up with this week. Aston Villa have won each of their last 5 Premier League games at Villa Park, all without conceding. I will say it feels like a long time since I've been to Villa Park. That Fulham game feels a long time ago, and obviously we've had 2 away games since then. So you kind of, because we've obviously ended up losing the last 2, you could kind of forget actually at home, and 2 of our games that we've got left are at home. We've been so strong recently.
Yeah, we have, yeah. So we beat Crystal Palace 1-0, beat Bournemouth 3-0, I beat Nottingham Forest 2-0, I beat Newcastle 3-0, and then beat Fulham 1-0. So that's 5 wins in a row. That's all with clean sheets. So Villa last won 6 in a row in the league at home in 1993, and the run Atkinson, which was a run of 7. Well, the last time they won 6 in a row, as while keeping a clean sheet in all of the games, was in 1971 as a 3rd-tier side.
Okay,
so that's a long time ago.
That is a long time ago. The thing is about those 5 games as well, I don't remember us being massively troubled in any of those games. I think Bournemouth probably caused us the most problems, and we won 3-0 that game. They've all been relatively comfortable, and you know, that clean sheet record, 5 in a row clean sheets at home is not to be sniffed at all, and hopefully we can make it 6. I mean, we could do with making it 6 in a row, couldn't we? Because as I say, this game's absolutely huge. We haven't scored for a couple of games as well. So a clean sheet really would be massive this weekend against Tottenham. And of course, we kept a clean sheet away from home New Year's Day.
We did.
Against Tottenham as well. So that's always a good omen. Let's get the second Aston Villa stat up there now for everyone to see then. And it's Villa are looking to complete the Premier League double over Tottenham this weekend after winning 2-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium earlier this season. Good lesson for me to read the stats before we come on and do the show, because I basically just gave that away before we start. But I'm presuming you know when the last time we did the double over Spurs is. It must have been a long time ago.
I do know. Do you know?
This is going to be a wild shout here.
Go on.
94, was it?
Close. 95, 96.
95, 96. I couldn't remember if we beat them. I remembered the Villa Park game in 95, 96 where we beat them 2-1. McGrath and Dwight York scored a lovely volley from McGrath in that game, but I couldn't think of the away.
You're ruining my quiz that I was going to do.
Well, I know the answers. Go on then. Just quiz me.
Okay. As you mentioned, the 2-1 win at Villa Park.
Mm-hmm.
Who scored in the 1-0 win at White Hart Lane that season?
That is tough.
Yeah.
Do you know what month the game was played in? Do you know what month the game was played in?
August 23rd, 1995.
August 23rd, 1995. Must have been Hugo.
It was Hugo Ekyog.
Yeah.
It was indeed, yeah. Yes, Hugo Ekyog scored in the first game 1-0. And then, like you said, in January 21st, 1996, Villa beat Spurs 2-1 at Villa Park, with Paul McGrath scoring the first, Rule Fox scoring for Spurs, and then Dwight York getting the winner.
I said how good McGrath's goal was, but York's goal was even better actually after that, because McGrath didn't score many. So that was probably one of the few goals I actually saw Paul McGrath score for Villa in my lifetime live. But yeah, that Dwight York goal was absolutely lovely as well, in off the bar, if I recall, a high finish. Anyway, really, really big win. But Villa haven't had the best of records against Spurs. I don't know whether I'm spoiling anything else coming up, but Villa, I don't think we've beat them at home for a long, long time, have we?
You're spoiling peak Villa, Dan.
All right, well, we'll save it for peak Villa then. Let's move on to Spurs before I ruin anything else on this show. So here comes Spurs. Tottenham are without a win in their last 6 away Premier League games, drawing 2 and losing 4. And away from home as well, Dale. They are shipping some goals.
Yeah. Like I said, they're without a win in the last 6 away games, losing the last 2. As they lost 4-1 to Leicester, I lost 1-0 to Wolves, drew 3-3 Southampton, and then 1-1 with Everton, and then lost 6-1 to Newcastle and 4-3 to Spurs. And they've conceded 19 goals in them 6 games.
You said 4-3 to Spurs, 4-3 to Liverpool, I believe.
4-3 to Liverpool. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I mean, they are letting goals in left, right, and centre. But as myself and Dave Reid discussed on the normal preview show yesterday, they've made some changes to their back line that I think will help them. And they ended up winning 1-0 and keeping a clean sheet last week, just in time to play Aston Villa, of course. But they can be got at for sure. They're not the Spurs. This isn't one of Spurs' great teams at the moment. It's basically they've got Harry Kane. They've got trouble everywhere else, really. They can be got at. So, although it's not, there's probably been better times to play them in recent weeks, but it's still not a terrible time to be playing them because their away form is absolutely horrid. What have we got next then, Adam? What's coming up next for us? Here he is. Heung-min Son has 7 goal contributions in 6 career appearances against Aston Villa, scoring 6 goals and 1 assist. Of course, he got a hat-trick at Villa Park last season in a game where Villa actually played pretty well, but still managed to lose 4-0. Hugo Lloris probably had his only good game he's had in the last 2 years for Tottenham at Villa Park in that game. Yeah, Son's a player. I feel like Spurs have always got a player that causes us absolute carnage. Van der Vaart always used to score against us when he was there. Bale had an unbelievable record, record at home against Spurs. They just do seem to have players that come alive at Villa Park.
Yeah, I could have chosen Harry Kane's record here as well against Villa, to be honest. I could have chosen Son's because he's scored more in less games.
I mean, Harry Kane's record's good against everyone, though, isn't it? Pretty much.
That's true. I was looking at Kane's record, and Villa were like 6th on the list, so I didn't include that one. But all of Son's Premier League goals against Villa come at Villa Park. So he scored twice in the game in 2020. Spurs beat Villa 3-2.
Like the Engels one in the last.
Bjorn Engels one.
Yeah.
Bjorn Engels a mistake in the last minute, and then like you said earlier, he scored a hat trick against us in the reverse fixture. In this fixture last season. So he loves a goal against Villa.
I think he might have scored against us the season we went down as well, potentially, unless I'm remembering incorrectly. He's been at Spurs a while.
He did score one in the cup against us.
I mean, Villa launched Harry Kane's career, in my opinion, because it was Pochettino's first season. We were playing okay in a game under Paul Lambert, and then Benteke got sent off for basically he did something. I think it was with Ryan Mason actually. I think he had a bit of a scuffle with Ryan Mason, and Benteke got sent off. And at the time, Harry Kane wasn't in the Spurs team. Adebayor was leading the line for them, and then he brought Harry Kane on. And Harry Kane, that must have been the only free kick he's ever scored. He hit a free kick, like the technique that Ronaldo uses, the knuckleball. Knuckleballed a free kick. It hit, I think, Baker in the wall and went in. And from then on, he just become this 20-goal a season striker. But Villa launched Harry Kane's career with that late goal.
Yeah. So Kane's got 11 goal contributions in 12 career appearances against Villa. 7 goals and 4 assists.
He'd be nowhere now. He'd be on loan in the Championship still if it wasn't for launching himself against Villa, wouldn't he? He'd be nowhere. He'd be on loan at Norwich in the Championship. Let's finish then with peak Villa. Well, we're not going to finish actually because we do have some bonus stats at the end. But let's look at peak Villa. Villa have not beaten Tottenham at Villa Park in the Premier League since New Year's Day 2008. Super. That's a long time as well. I can remember that game as well. You going to ask me who scored? Mellberg and Larson.
Yes, and Martin Larson is the last Villa player to score a winning Premier League goal for Villa at Villa Park against Tottenham. As the Villa have lost their last 7 Premier League home games against Spurs, conceding at least twice each time.
I mean, it was a defender's game, that was. Dawson scored for Spurs as well, I think, in that game. So I think it might have been 3 set-piece goals in that game.
Yeah, the last one was a towering header, right? I think
then I remember him doing this kind of celebration.
Yeah.
I think there'd been a bit of a verbal between him and Martin O'Neill in the papers leading up to the game about a new contract. So Larson, there was a lot of talk. I remember there'd been a little bit of a spat, nothing major. I remember them being a spat, and then he scored, and he went running over to O'Neill. O'Neill didn't seem very happy at the time, but to have not beat Spurs at Villa Park since New Year's Day 2008. I was 21, 22 at that point. It's a long time. It's a long time ago. Yeah. I think we'll win. I think we'll win this week.
I think we'll win as well. I think we'll win.
If we want to get Europe, we need to win. It's must win for Villa. If they've got any kind of European aspirations, they've got to win on Saturday. But Spurs can be got at. They've had better teams rock up at Villa Park since 2008 than they have rocking up at Villa Park tomorrow. So I think we've no reason to not be confident, especially with our recent home form. You've got some bonus stats as well, haven't you, Dale? One of them actually about someone who played in that game on New Year's Day in 2008. Well, you said you did yesterday. You sent it in the group.
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate Unai Emery on winning Manager of the Month.
Yeah, well, you can do that. He's a big watcher of the show.
That's big. He's the 5th manager to do so for Aston Villa. The first is Dean Smith in December 2020, and it's the 9th. It's the 9th time overall a Villa manager has done it. That's good.
Ask me to name the 9 managers. Well, I suppose there's less than 9. A few ones, isn't it?
Yeah, there's less than 9. You can name the 5 if you want. They're pretty easy.
Little.
Yep.
Gregory.
Yep.
O'Neill.
Yep.
Emery included in this.
Yep.
Dean Smith.
Yep.
So the big gap. It's a big gap. Basically, Villa didn't win a Manager of the Month in the Premier League for a long time. Again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's been ages. Yeah.
So I don't know, Emery.
I've got 4 bonus ones if you want them.
Go on and hit me. Yeah, one of them was the one I was alluding to, the one you put in the WhatsApp group. You were very proud of this stat yesterday in the WhatsApp group. You were very proud.
Was it the Ashley Young one?
Yeah.
Yes, Ashley Young has played as 1,911 minutes in the Premier League this season. If he plays at least 89 minutes in this game or any other game this season, he will be the first English outfield player with 2,000 plus minutes in a Premier League season while aged 37 or older, and the first since Teddy Sheringham in 2003, 2004, and that was the season Young made his debut for Watford at age 18.
What a player Teddy Sheringham was, by the way. One of my favourite footballers.
Yep.
Teddy Sheringham, so clever. Before his time, Teddy Sheringham was. He's so good. He went on for ages as well. Played in the Premier League at 41, 42. Teddy Sheringham wasn't. He was still absolute class for West Ham. I like the omen of Ashley Young being the part of the last team that won at Villa Park in 2008.
Yeah.
I like the thought.
Do you think he'll start?
No,
I don't think he'll start either.
Yeah. Right back, and Carlos might start. You're being questioned in the comments, by the way, about the manager of the month. Tim
Who's
Sherwood.
questioning?
AVFC is saying Tim Sherwood ?
Tim Sherwood didn't win it.
We did have a good. We won not 4 in a row under Sherwood at one point.
Sherwood didn't win it for Villa.
You didn't win. You're adamant on that, are you?
I mean, I'll bet my life on it.
Okay. You certain? So I'm just giving the viewers asking a question. I'm just throwing.
I mean, that's twice now, Dan. You've called me out with the chat says.
It's not me calling you out. It's someone in the chat calling you out, and I'm just alerting you to it because I know you haven't got it in front of you. Whereas I have. That's my job as host, to integrate and amalgamate everything together. You, the people that are watching live. That's my job. I do the ad reads about Manscaped. These are the things that I'm here to do, Dale. Let's have your other bonuses then.
Okay. So 3 more quick ones. Unai Emery's unbeaten in all 4 Premier League meetings against Spurs, winning 2, drawing 2, including the one he won for Villa this season.
Okay.
So Villa will guarantee a top 10 Premier League finish for the first time in 12 years if they avoid defeat.
We're going to get top 10 now. We'll get top 10 now.
Yeah. And then the last one. Across the last 3 seasons, only 5 players have more goals and assists combined in the Premier League than Ollie Watkins. And that's Harry Kane, Mo Salah, Son Heung-min, Kevin De Bruyne, and Bruno Fernandes.
It's pretty good company, that.
Yep.
Haaland's probably not far off being in there just after his one season. He must be close to that.
That's why I put it in, because it's not going to be the same. At the end of the season, it's going to be like 6th on the list.
Haaland must be close to joining that elite group that Ollie Watkins is in. But Ollie Watkins, I don't think he was getting enough credit earlier on in the season before he was scoring all the goals, because I think he was playing really well. He's been a really good player for Villa, well worth the money that Villa paid, which may have looked expensive actually at the time. Tim Sherwood was nominated for Manager of the Month but didn't win it. Stato knows all. It's Adam, not Adam producer. This is a different.
Cheers, Adam.
In the chat, yeah, he does. Anything else? You got any other pearls of wisdom, or are you going to save it all for Twitter?
As Harry Kane has scored in 23 Premier League games this season. So 5 of those games have been 1-0 wins for Tottenham. No player has ever scored as a winner in more 1-0 wins in a single Premier League season. As Eric Cantona did it, the same number in 95-96, and James Beattie did it in 2002-2003, all with 5.
James Beattie. Villa wanted Beattie, didn't they, at one point under David O'Leary, but they couldn't get the deal done, couldn't get it over the line. Kane's an exceptional footballer. Again, someone who does not get the credit that he deserves. I think he might be England's best ever forward, but that's a big shout from me and something that I'll probably get attacked for. So let's move on from that quickly and end the show. Dale, thanks ever so much for joining me. As always, stats-wise, keep your eye on Dale's social channels. He'll be posting more in the lead up to the game, I'm sure. Always some weird and wacky stuff on there. Don't know where he comes up with it, but he does. Well done to Dale. Go back and check out our other shows this week. There's a very good episode of 1874. Now, you may think it's a bit arrogant to say it's a very good episode when I'm in the episode. It's not good because of me. It's good because of Greg. I just sit there and listen, basically, for that podcast. So yeah, go back and check out 1874 because Greg's got some good information on Villa's new hierarchy and structure going into next season. Also, myself and Sky Sports News' Dave Reed, we did a normal preview show yesterday. Again, worth checking that out and listening to what he had to say. Don't forget, if you do want to sort your balls out, go and buy. I can't believe I've just said that. Go and use our link and buy some stuff from Manscaped and save yourself some money. Dale's off now to trim his ear and nose hair. Have a good rest of your Friday. Look after yourself. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.